expect this coming in the future. You're going to see more of these women who are going to be pivoting and transitioning out of OnlyFans, not out of OnlyFans, but like out of sort of the thirst trapping in general to thirst trapping in specific. And in specific, I mean more towards the traditional conservative guys. And the reason why I got kind of dragged into this is primarily because they decided that they wanted to dox my daughter at that point. And yes, Brittany Venti or somebody very much with a same literary style decided to send me an email and attach a video of what I presume is an underage video of Isabella DeLuca. It's not, because there's nothing sexual in the thing at all. It got passed around. I'm sorry for passing this on to Tiffany Fox, who then took it and reposted. But I was looking at it like, this is not, what is this? But somebody told, I'll go and put the email up here in just a second so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's not this one, is it? No, that's sorry, that's from last week. Let me go and dig it up here. Pretty sure I put it on the desktop, didn't I? Okay, here we go. So during the middle of all of this, where everybody's throwing shade at me and giving me all kinds of grief for even for God forbid for talking about Isabella DeLuca. Now, of course, let me give you the build up to this. Again, where she's basically just focusing on her tits. She knows that. The chick who's making the ham sandwich, focus. Like, nobody would watch that video or care about it if she was Julia Childs making sandwiches in a burlap sack. No one would care. Absolutely no one. I mean, it did look like a pretty tasty sandwich, I'll give you that. But the point is she's there with her boobs hanging out, just like TradWife girl was, like the blonde girl who's like trying to play the, Susie Homemaker. She looks like a 1950s, like sort of June Cleaver, a combination between June Cleaver and like Marilyn Monroe. And, she's like, like a Stepford wife or something like that, making, the next mac and cheese. Here's how I make mac and cheese. What? But that's prime grade A red meat for tradservatives. Cuckservatives. Let's think what else could. TradCons is not going to fly this year. We're going to have to think of something else. Trad Thoughts is a good one. TradWives is a good one. All those chicks that wanted to go to Pearl's wife school, bitch school, they want to go to bitch school. This is them. This is the fruits of your labor, Pearl. We've got Isabella DeLuca making cakes, making ham sandwiches. And if you say anything, if you draw attention to it, you're doomed. You're fucked. And I will admit right now, I walked right into this big pile of shit. My bad. Sorry. I won't. It will not happen again. Trust me. It will not happen again. But I walked into this big pile of shit because it's a tar pit. There's no way out. So if I go and I say, this video is not about cake, it's about you guys, you conservative fuckwits, getting duped, getting thirst trapped by this chick who's LARPing to be this traditional conservative. By the way, Roger Stone, you too. You got hooked on this as well. You got trapped in the tar pit as well. Oh, they want to back her up and they throw shit at me because I'm the evil I'm that red pill guy, right? So I'm that evil red pill guy. And so now it's like, well, what do you have? She's wearing a shirt. There's nothing wrong with that. You have girls on your show on Access Vegas and they're not wearing anything. They're half naked. These are the same people, by the way, the women anyways, who just like last month or November, when Twitter sort of eased the terms of service for artistic nudity, these are the same girls who, and trust me, one of these girls is going to do this, but that just had like the black bar across their boobs and their cooter. And I'm literally a piece of like black foam core, not even like digitally in there. I mean, actually a piece of, to cover it up because it was artistic nudity. And then, so Twitch is now okay with that. The people who lost their minds over that are the same people that are and now like, oh, bravo, cake girl, we love you. Same ones. And for me to go in there and call out that kind of hypocrisy or call out that kind of, it's not when we say it's hypocrisy, that call out that red meat is the cardinal sin. So what do you think is the comeback? Rollo is just, he's a hypocrite. He's talking about her tits. Not talking about her tits. In fact, I said, I'm all for tits, please. I love big boobs. Go for boobs in general. I love boobs. Go for it. Boobies, yeah. Crucifix necklace. Okay. Maya, my muse, my red pill muse, Maya, she's got nice rack, and she wears like her little cross necklace all the time. Well, how come you don't have a problem with that with her? Because I know her, and I know it's not a grift for her, and I know she's not there trying to make macaroni and cheese or, hot dogs on a, chili dogs or something like that. I know that she's not going to lean that way. She doesn't need to. But apparently DeLuca does, and a lot of other chicks have to as well. Ashley St. Clair. Who else? Trying to think. I'm sure probably Allie will probably lean that way. Allie Real Femme Sapien, although maybe not. But because it's going to be something that's sort of like a profitable it's a new niche. And by the way, it's going to be a very short-term niche for 2024. So stick with it, ladies. But for me to go in there and talk about it, it becomes about the tits. And so if I go in there, it's like Rollo he's just fixated on boobs. She's dressed conservatively. She's covered. I'm like, yeah, but the camera is like focused on her tits and not the cake. Doesn't matter. You're just you red pill guys are just sex obsessed. It's all about the sex. No, it's about me calling out a LARP, and you guys don't like me calling out the LARP is what it is. And so then, of course, she wants to talk shit, or people want to say, oh, I'm being a hypocrite because I do Access Vegas with Mike. And you know what? I didn't say it was a bad thing. I'm just calling out the bullshit. And so was Andrew Wilson's wife, Rachel Wilson, was calling out the bullshit. Andrew Wilson himself calling out the bullshit. And you know where they went with her and with Andrew and anybody else who has anything critical to say about her? You're just sex obsessed. What would your daughter say? She wouldn't say anything because she knows exactly what I do and has known so since like 2016. I told my daughter about my books. I don't think I've ever told this story. I told my daughter about my books in 2016, and I already had 2 books at that time. I had The Rational Male and I had Preventive Medicine were already published, and I was working on the third at that time because she had graduated from high school, and I thought, okay, she's graduated from high school. She's going to have to know what dad's doing right now, and so I gave her the book. She read the first book. I don't know if she's read the second or anything like that, but I had to sort of have that sort of conversation with her and say, look, because these people are going to come at me, they're going to come at you. And she's had to deal with that since like 18 and still is dealing with that right now, to the point where she's been doxxed before. And here we go again. And it's gotten to the point where at one point I had to install Blink cameras, like the Amazon Blink cameras, at her condo in Las Vegas, because at one point during a podcast that shall go unnamed, you know who I'm talking about, she got doxxed, including her location. And it's not the people who actually talk about my daughter, or want to show a picture of my wife, or show a picture of my mother-in-law, or show a picture of my dogs, or go and show pictures of my daughter graduating from high school because they were clever enough to go find her Facebook or her Instagram or whatever else. And they say, well, she's a public figure. She is not a public fucking figure, asshat. She's not out there. She's not Michaela Peterson, put it that way. But okay, if you want to say, well, they're public domain, okay, fine. Okay. But you're still dragging my daughter into all this. And this was back in 2019, I think 2019 or 2020. She was already in Vegas at that time. And the reason why I had to put security cameras on her condo, which by the way, the condo association really frowned upon, but I did it secretly, because on Easter Sunday of all days, some guy started wandering around her apartment complex shirtless, probably drunk, and calling out her name. But her name was Tomasi. It wasn't her like real name. It was like my stage name, right? It was my pseudonym. Trying to find out which unit she was in. We had to call the police. We had to, had to file a report and everything else. And that's what prompted me to put up security cameras as a result of that, because somebody had said, oh, she's in Las Vegas and then at that point, UNLV, she's no longer there. But it's not the person who's doing the doxing. Like, for instance, I have Isabella DeLuca dragging pictures of my daughter off of Instagram, putting them on Twitter and putting it into that thread. So all of the people who are involved in that thread who hate my guts are now potentially, have the same capacity as that guy who decided he wanted to wander around my daughter's apartment complex. Right? Now they don't know where she's married now. It's over. Like, go home, go find something else to do with yourself. But it's not the person who's doing the doxing. It's the people who see it and they think it's okay. So the person who was out there like with shirtless and I know who he is now, but like during that whole time, this is like 4 or 5 years ago. All that shit that was going on at that time, it wasn't the person who did the doxing. It was the people who saw it and said, I'm going to go, I'm in Vegas. I'm going to go find that bitch. I'm going to go and film myself on my Instagram live or whatever it was. I'll show him. It's not you guys. Like, so when you think, oh, well, I'm going to dox his daughter if that's the case. The only reason she's doxing my daughter is because I said, look, the only reason you're doing this is probably because you had a really bad childhood or probably because your daddy wasn't involved in like, raising you the right way. And then, of course, what happens? Oh, I'm going to go get his daughter. Well, guess what? You know who else wanted to dox my daughter and wanted to dox my family? Who wants to find dirt on me? Yeah, that's right. Brittany Venti, Lauren Southern, Destiny, and all those feckwits that were all involved in all the shit that was going on in August of last year. Oh, hey, we got an opportunity to go and do this, right? So of course that's what happens is they want to dox my daughter, and my daughter's like, it was funny because like she hits me up like 2 days later. She goes, did you fuck up on Twitter? She's like, did you fuck up on Twitter again? I'm like, yeah, sorry, I didn't know that they were gonna like do this. And so like, because she got, by the way, she got tons and tons of follows on Instagram as a result of that. They're probably all hate follows. But they want to drag it off of there. Of course, what they want to do is they're going to go, oh, well, look, she's in a bikini. She's in this cute little, my daughter was a pageant girl. You let her do pageants. Yeah, you're goddamn right I did, because that's really a good thing. You want traditional, conventional femininity. You want etiquette. You want being able to sort of like present yourself well as a woman and look good and doing everything else. So you look no further than, well, I mean, reputable pageant systems. Been a part of that for a long time. People don't realize that. So when I have like Miss Nevada on, we've had 2 of them on Access Vegas. Like I can talk to them. And then, by the way, there's a lot of other women that we've had on Access Vegas that used to be pageant girls themselves. And they end up becoming like real estate moguls, or they have like a communications job, right? They've got something that's like it's not just OnlyFans at all. They're actually doing something legitimate with themselves, right? As a result of being involved in a pageant system, the good pageant systems, there are some scams, but that whole thing is like, why do you have a problem with that? These are the chicks the normal chicks that you say you want to get with. They're good, conservative, traditional values. My daughter doesn't have an unplanned pregnancy. She's not anything. She doesn't have clinical depression. She was never hooked on benzodiazepines. She was never, she never met with Andrew Tate in Romania to discuss business overnight. That's never happened to Rollo Tomasi's daughter. It's happened to some other people's daughters, but not mine. But you're going to go and give me shit for it. So anyways, I want to throw that one out there and dox my daughter. Well, what happens then? Well, you're just sex obsessed. I'm already dealing with that. Now I have to deal with, well, she's a public figure and we can do whatever we want. I don't think you know what doxing really is. No, dude, I know what doxing is. I've dealt with it for the last 6 or 7 years by the same people, by you guys. And again, it's not the people doing the doxing. It's the people who see it and think it's okay to go and take it a step further. Those are the people. So before you start throwing shit out there and start like pulling that kind of stuff, understand that your actions might not be you actually pulling the trigger, but it's going to be somebody who follows you who is like really unhinged. Some guy who's just simply mentally imbalanced, and he's the one that's going to go take action because he thinks he'll get your attention by doing so. So bear that in mind when you decide that you want to go that extra step. Now, getting back to more to the point here. Let's see. Where did that go? So later on, I get an email, and here it is. Where did it go? I get an email that is eerily similar to the emails, the fake emails by Brittany Venti. And this is the one that was this. The reason Isabella privated her socials. I saw that fucking bitch trying to dox your daughter. Immediately after you call out someone, they pull that shit. Yep. Sound a lot like that other. I can go get that email for you too if you'd like. Isabella the Jezebel. Dude, who uses that fucking who? You know what's funny is like when people like cater these stupid ass emails to try to get me to like, they just basically wanted me to post that video. Say, look, see, she's actually selling her ass on giving it out away for free or $50 on Dropbox or whatever. Like that was the whole shtick, right? And the point was to make me go and put that on just to publish it in some way, not unlike some other shit that happened in fucking July and August, right? Now, do I know for a fact that it was Brittany Venti? Do I know for a fact that it's any of those guys? I don't know that particularly. I do know that she follows them. I do know that she's in her follows, in Isabella's follows. So I presume they're all kind of still in that inbred, army of spurgs. So, but oddly enough, conveniently enough, this decides to come into my inbox. Don't know who this e-thought thinks she is, fooling e-thought. She's fooling with the good girl baking a cake Christian act. She's no different than an OnlyFans thought by her selling literal porn via Dropbox. Trust me, the video had no porn in it whatsoever. And whoever sent me this, you know what I'm talking about. Link to the simps. Who? She said, oh, she should have stuck with that instead of doxing your daughter. Again, dox your daughter. Pain point, right? Let's see. This dirty do nothing hoe. Fuck talks like this. Posting photos of your daughter getting baptized was too far for me. Yeah, by the way, that is true. They decided that because my daughter was in a two-piece in the Pacific Ocean for her photos when she got baptized, that's a bridge too far. See, she's wearing a two-piece. So at least Isabel had her entire midriff covered when her big boobs were sitting there and they were just looking at those the whole time. You're actually the problem, Rollo. Sure. How can she, as a Christian conservative, use holy photos of sacrament as ammo when her only value is her sexuality? Again, repeating something I've said in the past. Oh, yeah, right. This must be one of my supporters. Okay. Trust me, I've figured out how you guys write now. Those baptism photos are the holy trinity of God. Does this retarded cunt know that you need water for baptism? Really, dude? Like I get some really spurgy guys who they really love me, right? They just try to, articulate themselves. So sometimes I kind of have to go, is this for real or is not for real? But dude, come on now. This is why your daughter is married and she is out here selling these videos to get by. She probably realized it's coming out and that's why she privated her Instagram. She's not private. She didn't private her Instagram. It's still very much public. I don't know if you heard, but I heard she fucked a lot of conservative dudes in that circle to get by. I heard one story about her doing some guy on the toilet at some conservative studio of some show she went on. All of this is bullshit, by the way. If you know anything about that, I'd love to hear you talk about this skibbity-doo nothing wench. Skibbity-doo nothing wench. Keep doing what you do. Look, here's this attached video that is, by the way, it's not, and there's nothing sexual whatsoever about that video, right? And I was sorry, Tiffany. I ended up passing it on to Tiffany, who ended up putting it out on Twitter. There's nothing sexual at it at all. It is her. Apparently, she was 17 in it. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. There's nothing revealing about it. There's nothing. It's just like you could go and find pictures or a video of like Justin Bieber when he was like 9 years old, and you put that out there. It's not like anything like that. It's just hey, I really like Justin Bieber when he was young, right? It has nothing to do with that. But then, of course, what happens is at the minute that Tiffany throws it up there, everybody piles on because they knew it was coming. Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha. Trust me, I learned my lesson back in August. So just you're not going to get me. But the very fact that you tried to get me tells me a lot more about Isabella DeLuca and a lot more about the people who follow her along. This is what they're capable of. They were capable of that bullshit in August. They're still capable of doing it now. all this wokesy shit. I love this, man. Like for every video that you'll see Ben Shapiro or Candace Owens or God knows whoever else complain about woke culture and cancel culture, they're going to cancel you. Cancel. Trust me, conservatives will use those tools just as quickly as wokesies will. Guaranteed. They if it serves their purposes, they will dox, they will cancel, they will do everything in their power to like get you to shut up. Well, guess what? I ain't shutting up. I might have walked into that bullshit with her. I might have stepped in that shit, not knowing, because there's no way to win it, right? If I say, well, it's not about the boobs, it's about about the whole thing, the whole LARPing, that this is going to be the new grift. There's people who are going to back me up and say, yeah, it's the new grift, right? But if you're going to defend against that, if you're going to be a white knight for this chick, it's not even about her as a thirst trap. It's about her being part of the tribe, her being part of the team. She's on our team. Here's Rollo. He's trying to attack our girl. Last month, she wasn't your girl. This month, she is, because we're in 2024 election cycle. Now she's part of the team, and she's got a crucifix around her neck, and she's got big boobs, and she's making a cake and trying to be Susie Homemaker, because that's the LARP, and you're stupid enough to buy into it. And if I come in there and ruin your parade, then I must be obsessed with boobs. Let's go and dox his daughter. That's the MO. That's their methodology. So backing up off of this, have fun, go fuck yourselves. I don't care. But the long and the short of it is it's not about the boobs. It's not about the cake. It's about you. It's about you guys buying into this horse shit. And this is just the tip of the eye. This is a shot across the bow right now. And it's only going to get worse. Trust me, this will escalate, because what will happen is the next chick that wants to do something similar to this, she's going to go and she'll be in some sort of like, I don't know, Confederate flag bikini or something. And she'll be flipping burgers or making steak. That's what will happen. And again, I can make the t-shirts now, man. You want to be a profiteer off of conservative failure this year? Please start making t-shirts and hats and merchandise. Now's the time to keychains, bottle openers, make something, man, because this will be the year that you can capitalize off of that. Trust me, take that to the bank.